top of the morning, y'all. What's going on? Make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all come into the building. Y'all hit the like, smash up the like for your boy. You know what I'm saying? We in another day in the land of the living. Let's salute the land of the living, y'all. Let's salute that we're here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for being in. You already know what it is. Mod gang, what it is. You know what I'm saying? Early morning crew, what it is. Top of the morning to y'all. You know what I'm saying? What's today? Sunday. Let's get it right. You know what I'm saying? So y'all see the title. So the Diddy lawyers, so last week, Diddy lawyers sent out an 80-something page to the office. You know what I'm saying? In I think DC or New York. So last week, Diddy sent out, or Diddy's team sent out an 80-something page for a motions of appeals, and it was expedited to get this appeal in order. You know what I'm saying? So basically, so now Diddy has chance for an immediate release. Let's get those likes up. Smash the like button. Diddy's immediate release has potential. So Diddy is not going to stay in prison till 2028. No, Diddy might come out even before New Year's. Like he might come out before New Year's or a little after 2026. But it's going to be around January to February. He's going to be out of there. There is a possibility Sean Diddy Combs could be immediately released from behind bars. You know what I'm saying? There is a possibility Sean Diddy Combs could be immediately released from behind bars, according to an attorney. So this is not his attorney saying this. This is a regular attorney saying that there's a possibility that Diddy could be released. Combs is seeking his freedom as lawyers for the disgraced hip-hop mogul urged a federal appeals court in New York late Tuesday to order his immediate release. So late Tuesday, to be last week, they went to the appeal courts in New York City to order his immediate release. Now, he can order, immediate release can be ordered because he only has 2 charges of trafficking. And Diddy never had sex with the prostitutes. It was Cassie and Jane Doe. Diddy just financed it. And the serious charges was he was found acquitted of the serious charges. So for them to still give him 50 months was very excessive. And that's why they are coming to the appeal courts and they are confident and they're saying, yo, we need that immediate release now. Y'all went for a life sentence. Y'all went for the RICO, a one-man RICO. Like even all of that is unconstitutional. It's all unconstitutional. One-man RICO, life sentence, racketeering, conspiracy. He was found not guilty of all of those charges. You know what I'm saying? So instead of the judge taking that into consideration, the judge felt like he was the 13th juror. The judge didn't sentence him as a judge. The judge had other biases going on. And that's why they in front of the appeal court saying, yo, release Diddy immediately. And they're saying it with confidence. They're saying, yo, it's time. Diddy shouldn't even be in prison no more. Why is he still there? Like the Mann Act, like why ain't people outraged about this? Diddy is the only one ever convicted of the Mann Act. People are still flying people out and having sex with them. Why ain't they being convicted of the Mad Act? Why did it stop at Diddy? Why did it just went, okay, well, that's a miscarriage of justice. He needs to be released immediately. 50 months for the Mad Act, which was a test. That was a test. They tested on Diddy, and they never did it again. They they never pushed the Mad Act again after they convicted Diddy of it. Like like what what are we saying here, bro? The truth gonna get out. So somebody asking me why I'm talking about Diddy. Somebody in the comments said, why you talking about Diddy? Why not? You convict a man over the Mad Act for him flying out his girlfriend and they engaging in sex in their bedroom in private. That's not the Mad Act. Like, that shouldn't be no charge. I said that should be for a book. That should be for a porn magazine. This ain't charges. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm talking about Diddy. That's why I'm talking about Diddy, because it's a miscarriage of justice. And all the lawyers know this. People know this, but they ain't gonna say nothing about it. They ain't gonna say nothing, but you should say something. To be guilty of that when it's prostitution service all across America. Why ain't the prostitution services shut down? Prostitutes still getting flied out from here, different cities. Why ain't they being prosecuted for it? Why ain't they being prosecuted for that? Why? Why? Ask me. Ask me why. Come on, man. There is a possibility Sean Diddy Combs could be immediately released from behind bars. Exactly. The man did over a year, over a year for transporting prostitution. That's so they say. He didn't engage with them. He didn't do none of that with them, but he was charged over 4 years for that. 4 years. Come on, man. That's a miscarriage of justice, bro. Like, they showing us right in front of our face, bro. Even the judge was mad. Diddy showed a lot of respect to the judge. Diddy was showing the judge all kind of respect, and the judge, in the back of his mind, said, "I don't care about your respect. I don't care about the law. I'm gonna give him all these years for nothing, for a nothing charge. Diddy is still in prison for a nothing charge. You see what I'm saying? Y'all gotta understand. Diddy is in prison for nothing, a nothing charge. If this was anybody else, if this was a regular Joe Schmo, he would have got a fine. He would have got a fine, and he would have been out of prison already. But since it's Diddy, they got to make an example out of him, which is unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. A regular person would have been out of prison with a fine, and they would have been forgot about it. So why, when it's somebody that the media portrayed as this monster, okay, now the laws are out the window? Nah, release that man immediately. There is a possibility Sean Diddy Combs could be immediately released from behind bars, according to an attorney who previously represented him. Combs is seeking his freedom as lawyers for the disgraced hip-hop mogul urges a federal appeal court in New York late Tuesday to order his immediate release from prison and reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges, or direct his trial judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. So they got options. Immediate release, reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges, or direct his trial judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. Because 4 years is excessive. That's what they're saying. You gotta lighten this 4-year sentence. I get it. You're mad that he whips y'all asses all across the courtroom. All across the courtroom, he whips y'all. Y'all mad about it. But it don't make it right. It doesn't make it right. The lawyers said in a filing with the Second Circuit U.S. Supreme Court of Appeal in Manhattan that Combs was treated harshly at sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges he was acquitted of unjustly influence his punishment. We read that, and they got a good case. They got a good case. They got a good case. The lawyers said in a filing with the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan that Combs was treated harshly at sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges he was acquitted of unjustly influence the punishment. See, it like even the judge could mess up a case. He being biased. So obviously the judge was listening to the media. The judge said to the jurors, right? The judge told the jurors, don't watch the media coverage, don't watch the news, don't go on social media, don't do this. Is the judge allowed? Is the judge under that same order, bro? Because the judge could be biased. The judge could be telling the jurors, y'all don't watch these stuff. But the judge is watching the biased media. So was the judge influenced by social media? Because he told the jurors, don't watch social media. But did the judge himself watch social media on Diddy and became biased? Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop being sheeps out here. You gotta talk up. So when I come here, I talk up the real. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is. Lawyers for Combs said Judge Aaron acted like a 13 juror in October when he sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison. They said he erred by letting evidence surrounding the acquitted charges influence the sentence he imposed. So they coming after the judge. Brian Steele and them, they coming after the judge. The judge messed this case up. They coming after the judge, nobody else. They coming after the judge. As they should, bro. I don't care how much power you got. I'm coming for the top dog. That's how you know. That's where you gotta go. Like a coward in life, they ain't gonna attack somebody with power. They're a coward. Nah, we go for the judges, we go for the government, we go for the people in higher power. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Because they hide up there. They hide. Thinking you ain't safe up there. Lawyers for Combs said Judge Aaron acted like a 13 juror in October when he sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison. They said he erred by letting evidence surrounding the acquitted charges influence the sentence he imposed. So we coming after you. Hell yeah. Oh, the judge fucked up. Oh, let's get the judge. The judge thinking is because the judge was biased. The judge was biased. They said the judge erred by letting evidence surrounding the acquitted charges influence the sentence he imposed. He imposed that, judge. You let that cloud your judgment. You know what I'm saying? So the judge is going to be the reason Diddy walks. Thank the judge. Thank Judge Aaron Submarinian. He's going to be the reason Diddy walks. Because the judge was mad. The judge was mad that Diddy was acquitted of all the serious charges. The judges was mad. And he was under pressure. He was under pressure. But the pressure he did was unconstitutional. I'm going to always say it. It was unconstitutional. There cannot be no one man RICO. I never heard of a one man RICO. And even the case, the case should have been thrown out when the person who said dangled her over a balcony lied. How can Diddy dangle her over a balcony when Diddy was in New York? Diddy was in New York at the time of that incident. So the case should have been thrown out over that. Another reason the case should have been thrown out, Cassie took 30 million and then she sued and went to the criminal charges after she took the bribe money. So Cassidy took bribe money twice. Cassidy took money from the suspect twice, the defendant twice, and then she went on the stand. So that should have been rules for throwing out the whole case. How are you gonna take money from the defendant, then go on the stand? Everything you say is tainted. Everything you say was tainted after you took the money and you agreed to whatever y'all agreed to. And then you go on a stand, you double dipping. Like what are we doing? That should have been thrown out the minute Cassie took the money. Cause now she playing the system, she playing everything. You can't want conviction of Diddy, but you took 30 million from him. If you want a conviction, don't take the bribe money. You took the bribe money. So it should be no rules for conviction after that. Period. No rules for conviction. Cassie took the money. You took the money, there's no trial. Period, bro. This whole thing was stink all across the board. It was stink, bro. It was stink, bro. Why is Diddy still in prison? They gotta free him immediately. Immediately. Lawyers for Combs said Judge Aaron Submaranian acted like a 13th juror in October when he sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months. They said he erred by letting evidence surrounding the acquitted charges influence the sentence he imposed. Knowing Combs was convicted of 2 lesser counts, prostitution offenses that didn't require force, fraud, or coercion. So even the charges that he was convicted of, it didn't acquire force, fraud, or coercion, meaning these was consenting adults. These was consenting adults. They asked the appeal courts, which had not yet heard oral arguments, to acquit Combs, order his immediate release from prison, or direct Submaranian to reduce his sentence. So they're going to people above the judge. These are above the judge who could call the play. And going by what I heard, Diddy's gonna get out of there, bro. They asked the appeal courts, which has not yet heard oral arguments. So the appeal courts, they heard the oral arguments to acquit Combs, order his immediate release from prison, or direct Submaranian to reduce his sentence. I think there's a potential there. Of course, there's a potential there. Remember when he was convicted of those 2 Mann Act violations? He won against that count that carried a mandatory life sentence and would have basically forfeited his entire fortune. So he rolled the dice and won. He rolled the dice with that Mann Act and all of this, and he won. And then he was enhanced in his sentence by the very conduct he was acquitted of. So when he won, they enhanced his sentence by the same conduct he was acquitted of. So if I'm acquitted of this charge, and y'all still charge me like I was found guilty of it, so they are charging Diddy like he was found guilty of serious charges. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So we watching a man get railroaded. You know what? Like I said, I don't gotta like Diddy, or I don't gotta hate Diddy. I just know law, and law is Diddy's being railroaded. They're trying to charge him for something he was acquitted of. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. Diddy rolled the dice and won, and then he was enhanced in his sentence by the very conduct he was acquitted of. So he rolled the dice and won. Then his sentence was enhanced by the very conduct he was acquitted of. I think that's fundamentally unfair. In fact, we want to talk about fairness. I think the prosecution should be penalized for overcharging him in the first place. Exactly. Why wasn't the prosecution penalized for overcharging Diddy in the first place? Come on, man. Why wasn't the prosecution penalized for overcharging Diddy in the first place? You overcharged them, throwing stuff at the wall, hoping to stick. Now that's, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I think the prosecution should be penalized for overcharging him in the first place. And he should have never been immediately released from prison. He should have been immediately released from prison. That's crazy, bro. You see when they don't like you and you play by their rules and you beat them at their game, you know what they do? They change the rules on you overnight. Overnight, they change the rules on you. They say, we don't go by that no more. We do this now. We go by this now. You know what I'm saying? So, Diddy need to be released from prison. And another person need to be in prison. Now, y'all heard about, let's see. What's the dude name, man? A high school. This dude, all word, multiple females. His name. So when you look at it, Oklahoma, a teen named Jesse Butler avoided prison despite pleading no contest to nearly a dozen felony charges, including R-word and attempted R-word. You heard that? He avoided prison. A dozen felony charges, despite pleading no contest to nearly a dozen felony charges, including R-word and attempted R-word. And you know what color he is? That's a little white teenager who was sentenced to no jail time for R-word, attempted R-word, multiple felonies, and he's free. But y'all worrying about Diddy? And we got a rapist that's free? The judge said, oh, you don't get no jail time. You look like me. You don't get no jail time. That's my outrage. Ain't y'all outraged about that? Oh, y'all just pick and choose. It's easy to be outraged about Diddy. I'm outraged about why this rapist is still on the streets when the judge said he don't need no jail time. Y'all play, man. I don't play around. That's why I brought up the Diddy case first. That's why I brought up the Diddy case first, so y'all could see a real R word who's still on the streets. A major new legal battle unfolding in Oklahoma. Of course, Oklahoma. Jesse Butler avoided prison despite pleading no contest to nearly a dozen felony charges, including the R word and attempted R word. No prison. He gets no prison time. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? You like they show you right your face. Yeah, yeah, man. You could have, you could misuse these women. You could assault these women. You get no time in jail. The judge didn't give him no jail time. The judge didn't give him no jail time. No jail time. He's supposed to be in jail. And Diddy, whatever, let him be free. But why is he not in jail? Why is this Jesse guy not in jail? Multiple felonies. And the judge said you don't need to be in jail. Where's the outrage? Where is the outrage for that? Come on, man. Y'all pick and choose. Y'all pick and choose. Y'all pick and choose. Shouldn't he be in prison? Shouldn't he be in prison? Oh, no, okay, he shouldn't. I get it. Y'all pick and choose. I get it. The judge feel the same way as y'all. The judge said it's okay to assault women. That's what the judge told me when he said, nah, go home. The judge told me that he lived that lifestyle. Two can't walk together unless they're in agreement. So now I got to question the judge's background. I got to question the judge's lifestyle. I got to question the judge's criminal record. I got to question it. And now one of the victims is actually suing him. Since he's free, since he never been convicted, whatever, one of the victims is suing him. The same way they sued Diddy, he's getting sued too. So now one of the girls who accused Butler of horrific abuse has filed a sweeping federal lawsuit. So she filed a federal lawsuit since the judge wouldn't do his. Not only against Butler, but also against his parents, the school officials, and the city of Stillwater. So she's suing all of them, bro. Alleging intimidation, retaliation, and systematic failures to protect her. Wow. Wow. This guy, you know, multiple women said he assaulted them. Multiple women. And he's still free. He's still free to this day. Diddy had no coercion. Diddy had no force. Diddy had no manipulation. And Diddy is in prison. And this guy, force, coercion, manipulation, all the factors that plays in them charges, he got. And he's free. He's free. And Diddy has none of those factors. And Diddy's in jail. But he's free. It's a miscarriage of justice. Like a coward would not say what I'm saying. A coward can't say what I'm saying. Because they're going to go along and get along. I get it. I ain't that way, bro. That's a miscarriage of justice, bro. You know what I'm saying? Make this go viral. Yo, Tom, what's up, man? Yo, Tom. Yo, the comments froze for a second. I appreciate you, man. The comments froze. Fruit Loop Tyler Perry is on his second charge of what? You serious? He on a second charge of sexual harassment with another employee? Yes. Oh my God, that's crazy, yo. Yeah, the comments was froze up for a second. Appreciate you, time. Tyler Perry. What are you looking? Another employee yes to the mill. See, Well, like I had, you know, like, like when you in that position, bro, men is gonna come on to you. Like Tyler Perry is still taking pictures in drag, bro. Tyler Perry is still taking pictures in drag, bro. Like no lie, I think he liked to wear the women outfits and stuff. I seen a most recent picture of Tyler Perry. I'm looking like a woman, bro. Gucci bags. He was in a car. He had flat, like he was taking that serious. Like this is my, this is my alter ego. This is me right here. So for a second person to come out on Tyler Perry, and he's known to, that's how he got his fame, bro. He got his fame from being a woman. He got his fame from being a woman. I appreciate you too, bro, but ain't got nothing gonna happen with Tyler Perry. Yeah, man. Yeah, he with Oprah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. He with Oprah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen with Tyler Perry is he gonna pay them people off and it's gonna disappear. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna disappear. My pop said in his lifetime, he only seen two guys dress up in a woman's clothing. That was Richard Pryor and Flip Wilson by the time. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Richard Pryor and Flip Wilson. Like, like even back then, it was looked at as taboo, bro. It was looked at as, what are you doing? Like, why do you, like, ain't you rich already, bro? Like, ain't you got enough money? Why you gotta wear a dress? Like, why the dress? Like, like I understand if they wore the dress when they was broke, when there was an up and coming into the game. Okay, wear the dress then. You done made all the money. You done got rich. Now you put on a dress. You should have been put it on so we could call you out from back then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they wait till they get all the money and then they convert. They convert. But yeah, man, that dress. You would never be in a dress. Never. I don't care how much you got $1 billion for you. Put this dress on. $1 billion. Just wear the dress. Put the dress on, KVon. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna wear the dress. Not for $1 billion, not for nothing. Peace and blessings. Yo, what's up? What's up, man? Yo, what's up, Rashada? Yeah, Rashida. What's up, man? Yeah, but that's what they do. You gonna wear the dress, cause guess what? They gonna give you a blank check, cause they know you got a price. And you're gonna meet the price. You're gonna meet the price. Okay, what's your price? Couple millions? They'll write a check out to you in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. A lot of y'all gonna put the dress on. A lot of y'all gonna put the dress on because y'all got money over integrity. Y'all put money over your integrity. You put money over your morals. So you're gonna wear the dress and they know it. And the ones that don't wear the dress, they say, okay, you know, well, like he's he won't go along to get along. Well, we got 10 more sheeps that will replace the one guy who said no. We got 10 more people that are gonna say yes. 10 more people gonna say yes, and they are gonna say yes. I believe Sammy Davis Jr. was Anna Frank Sinatra was Dean Martin, Dave made him this. Yeah, bro, listen, man. The Rat Pack, Sammy Davis, Frank Sinatra, all of these Dean Martin, that life, the drugs. Don't think these people was holier than thou, bro. Ain't none of them was holier than thou, homie. None of them. They wasn't holy. You think that, but I know the truth. The drugs, the wild times. They listen, man. They was giving it up. A lot of freaks, and everybody in Hollywood is a freak. Hollywood, the music industry, they all got stories. They all got stories. And 50 Cent, 50 Cent has some stories too. We ain't gonna jump over 50 Cent. Young Buck accused 50 Cent of being a cuckold. Young Buck accused 50 Cent of being in the corner, watching him while Young Buck was getting off, while Young Buck was clapping cheeks. He said 50 Cent was in the corner, jerking off. Now, where did 50 Cent learn that cuckold stuff? He learned it from Diddy. So 50 Cent was also in a hot tub with Diddy, shirt on, shoulders rubbing. Who knows what they had under? But from the top in the water, they had no shirt on, shoulders rubbing, close to each other. 50 Cent got a lot of questionable stuff in his background. Y'all don't ever gloss over that, please, because I will always remind y'all. I ain't gonna play with y'all. I'm always remind y'all. 50 Cent, Frank Sinatra was part of the mob. Frank Sinatra got mad when Marilyn Monroe started messing with those Kennedy boys in the mafia. So got rid of the Kennedy. Yo, bro, that Kennedy hit was different. Like when, like when you watch it, the John F. Kennedy, when he got hit, bro, it's like it was it had to be like two shooters, bro. So that Harvey Lee Oswald being the lone gunman can't be, bro. Cause that second shot, which came from the front. Remember, the library or the school depository was behind Kennedy. Yo, bro, I know I'm a wealth of knowledge. You see how I could just tap into anything and just break it down, bro? We jump into the Kennedy assassination. Cause I study all of this, bro. You study yourself to be approved, bro. So the book depository was behind Kennedy. Yeah, that's. But another one came from in front of him. So it had to be a shooter behind him and a shooter in front of him. Cause that second bullet is what, give him the momentum with the head rolling back. And I ain't trying to get too graphic on it, but that was the momentum. You dig what I'm saying? So when Ruby took out Harvey Lee Oswald in the police station in front of everybody, like what was he trying to silence? You gotta ask yourself, what was he trying to silence? Bars. Bro, if you ever watched that movie with Kevin Costner, it has the mafia written all over it. In New Jersey, Edgewater was a part of the mafia. J. Edgar Hoover was part of the CIA. Yes, the mafia. The mafia controlled the trash. The mafia nation. So you know what that means? They didn't find Hoffa's body because the mafia controls the sanitation. And when they do their deed, they put you in the sanitation compactor and they'll never find you. They control the sanitation. They control the casinos. So the mafia is powerful. And J. Edgar Hoover was part of the CIA, FBI, and all that, of course. And J. Edgar Hoover, he was targeting us. He was targeting, like he was a real villain, bro. Hoover was a real villain, bro. You go look him up, and he was a villain to us. Like he might not be a villain to y'all, but to the black people, to us, Hoover was a villain, bro. And I don't get why gangs named itself after Hoover, the Hoover Crips. You named yourself after a racist white man? I never understood stuff like that. You call yourself the Hoover. Hoover. Do y'all know who J. Edgar Hoover is to call yourself after that? I get it. Y'all from Hoover Street. I get it. Hoover Street. So but I'm not representing no racist white man named Hoover. I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I believe there was a gunman in the crowd. Yeah, a gunman was had to be in the crowd, bro. It was a distraction while, yeah, yeah. Babushka lady. See, I'm going deep. The Babushka lady who was there at the Kennedy assassination said it was two gunmen. Now we can't find the Babushka lady. Now what is a babushka? Go look it up. The babushka lady, I think it was a coat that she was wearing, and she actually witnessed this other gunman. The babushka lady. Go look it up, man. Yeah, it's a conservative effort. It's a conservative effort, man. Definitely, man. And then you gotta ask yourself, who is so powerful to order a hit on the president? Gotta be the mafia. You feel me, time? Your time. It's gotta be the mafia. Ain't nobody else with that much power at the time to order a hit on the president of the United. Who could do that? And why? Why would they do that? Like, so you gotta think. Who did the president piss off? Who did Kennedy piss off? He obviously pissed somebody off that got more power than him, you know? So you gotta ask yourself, who did he piss off? The mafia? You know, man, yeah. He got the headshot. One thing you can't do with us black folks is talk BS. The black folk put our minds together. Yeah, but you know what? That's the last place you're gonna get the truth from. The last place you're gonna get the truth from is black people in the ghetto. Cause everybody else done sold out. Like everybody in suburbs, everybody that got the millions of dollars, they ain't gonna tell you the truth. Cause they got too much to lose. A black man in the ghetto, like me, I ain't got nothing to lose. So I'm gonna tell it all. A rich man got too much to lose. So guess what he gonna do? Stay silent. Stay silent. So I never get my news from rich people because they always got a narrative they gotta pay. They. So a black man in the ghetto with nothing to lose is gonna tell the truth. Somebody in the suburbs with all the money, they got too much to lose. They ain't gonna tell the truth. Compromise. I ain't compromised over here. So you're gonna really hit. I ain't got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I ain't got nothing to lose but everything to gain. Anything I gain is extra credit. It is what it is. Of course it was the mafia. Yes. Only the mafia got that much power. Power at that time to actually do that successfully, bro. To target a president of the United States, you gotta have power. Gotta be, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have power. The Kennedys got to the White House. The first thing they did was kick the mafia out of the building. Oh man, yeah, they was coming to clean up house. They was coming to clean up house. Kennedy was on, racial harmony, and at the time, people didn't want no racial harmony. People didn't want corruption going away. So Kennedy was coming to clean up corruption. He was coming to clean up racism. He was coming to clean up when it wasn't time for the cleanup. And people, felt the way. They felt the way. And the Kennedy hit was strategic. They told John F. Kennedy he didn't need a bubble. Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah, yep. He didn't need a, yep. And if there was around a whole bunch of, yep, the shooter would have got caught. Exactly. 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 The shooter would have got caught if it was around a bunch of black people. But for the security detail to say you don't need this, was the security in on it? Now, was the security in on the Kennedy hit? Because ever since then, no other president rode in like a topless, you know, a topless car. Ever since then, no other president ever rode in a topless car. So was that a one and done to get Kennedy? And was the Secret Service inside paid off? And tell him, yeah, go in that topless car so the shooter could have better advantage to hit you. Because ever since then, no other president rode in the top. You know what I'm saying? So, man, listen, man, it's an inside job all around, man. It was an inside job, even from the CIA, his own security. His own security had something to do with that. Mm. His own security had something to do with that. I could confirm that, and I'm 100% okay with knowing that. Security has something to do with that. Back then, the Kennedys were looked at, yeah, to say, yep, yep. They had no issue with black people, yep, exactly. You know, they was coming to fix racism. They was coming to fix corruption at a time that the people didn't want it fixed. You know, we talking the 60s, you know, mid 50s to 60s. The racism was still ripe. Corruption was still ripe. It was still big business. And here you come, a new fresh-faced president trying to come change up things. They're going to get you out the way. They're going to get you out of the way. It's just what it is. Hey, what's up, Anthony? They're going to get you out the way. They're going to get you out the way, bro. And there's some powerful people who did that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I study everything, bro. You know, like I hold myself, yeah, you know, where it says the truth shall set you free, not make you feel good. The truth ain't here to make you feel good. The truth is to set you free from the lies. The truth is to set you free from the lies. The truth ain't here to make you feel good. I ain't here to make y'all feel good. I'm here to tell the truth, man. Look how they got rid of Epstein, man. Exactly. You know, people be thinking like they do it right in front of, and they know only the smart people are going to catch it. But the majority of the world is stupid, and they don't catch it. You know what I'm saying? So it's only like 5% going to catch it. You know, that's it. And the rest, they don't catch it. But the Epstein, I've been caught that. You could see the writing all over the wall. You know what I'm saying? You know, they put it in front of our face. The brainwashing and all the psychological warfare they do to the masses, they know the masses are destroyed. And the more we go into the future, the more we time progress, you see it. The Epstein, like Epstein had Michael Jackson there, Donald Trump there, Bill Clinton there, and that's just to name a few. It's damn near 1,000,000 pages and 1,000,000 documents on the Epstein. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that says, commissioners, millionaires, mm-hmm, and the list is going on. Lawyers, what about lawyers, bankers? See, we can't forget about the lawyers, the bankers, the polices, like this is all one conservative effort, bro. They all under this umbrella. The judges, the polices, the commissioners, the lawyers, they all under this umbrella that y'all gotta understand, bro. They all, they all practice this. You know, like a passenger rights. It's like you gotta join this. You gotta do this to be one of us. If you ain't one of us, this umbrella protection, it don't protect you. It don't protect you. Epstein Island. Why do people need to go to an island to? If I'm a powerful man, why do I gotta fly halfway across the world to engage in sex when I could just have sex in my bedroom, hotel room? Why do you fly halfway across the world to engage in something that you do every day? Gotta ask yourself, why did they do that? It had to be something that's illegal, immoral, something that's taboo, something that that society look at as wrong, everything society look as wrong, we're gonna take to that island. You know, you don't think it's people in that world like this, people in the world that knows that, okay, I could go on my island and I could do whatever I want. Jay-Z got an island. Who else got an island? Um, Jay Prince got an island. Multiple people got islands. And what you think they doing on their island? Come on, man. You think Jay-Z? Yeah, man, y'all gotta wake up, man. Yo, what's up, y'all? We gotta fight capitalism. Money makes mad. What? Stop capitalism? Nah. You know, you ain't gonna never stop capitalism. But what you should do is capitalize in a capitalist society. Learn how to capitalize in a capitalist society. A wise man knows that selling is what brings in income. So if I'm a seller and you a buyer, that means I get rich and you give money to me. It's simple. So have something that people need in this capitalist society. I'm gonna capitalize. That's all. So one man can't stop nothing. Period. So you think you're gonna, oh, we gotta stop. You just gotta get yours, man. Because at the end of the day, wise man knows self-preservation. Like I don't like presidents and all of that. That ain't for us. A president, you said Angela Davis. Presidents don't work for us, man. Presidents ain't for the people. Presidents got interests. Presidents is only for rich people. You know what I'm saying? That's who the president is here for, the rich people. That's why the rich man get tax breaks. That's why he'll get this, he'll get a slap on the wrist. You know, they barely get into trouble. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump should have been in jail 3, 4, 5 times. And every time Donald Trump escaped prison, every time Donald Trump should be in prison for sexual misconduct. And he's not in prison for sexual misconduct. See, when I say this stuff, people look at me like I'm crazy. But no, like I go for the top chief, bro. Donald Trump did stuff that Diddy didn't do, bro. So for him not to pardon Diddy and laugh, like he ain't got no sexual misconduct charges. It's baffling to me. It's baffling to me, bro. A lady on the... Come on, man. Do I gotta read it to y'all? Donald Trump plane incident with lady. Okay, y'all ever heard of Jessica Leeds? Jessica Leeds was one of several women who accused Trump of sexual misconduct. One of several women who accused Trump of sexual misconduct. So Trump is running like he's some high and mighty guy. He fooling y'all. Can't fool me. So she was on this flight, right? So she was on this flight. And in the 1970s, this was in the 1970s too. She was on this flight. And Trump started grabbing her, kissing her. In 2016, Jessica Leach alleged that Trump sexually assaulted her on a flight decades earlier. In 2016, Jessica Leach accused Trump of sexually... Your president. That's your president. But everybody look at Trump as high and mighty, bro. He got worse charges than Diddy back then. He got worse charges than Diddy because his was force, coercion, manipulation. That's what Trump had. All 3 hallmarks of charges that need to be filed. I want to see Trump in prison. I don't know about y'all. I want to see Trump in prison. That's what would make this thing right, when to see Trump ass in handcuffs. Because Trump sexual misconducts several women. Trump got, you know what I'm saying? So again, that's another person. I told y'all about Jesse, who all were multiple women, and the judge gave him no jail time. Trump assaulted multiple women, and the judge, no jail time. Diddy was having sex in the privacy of his bedroom, and Diddy got 4 years in prison. See, a rich person will not tell y'all this. They compromised. Rich people ain't gonna talk like this. They compromised. You gotta get it from the real. Why is Diddy in prison and Trump is not? Why is Diddy in prison and this Jesse kid, who is already showing hallmarks of a R word, gets no jail time? So you think he gonna stop? He facing no punishment for what he did to them females. So he's gonna grow up that way. And you think he's on like a like a predator registry? Of course not. He is not. Like, the guy don't even have to file as a sexual predator. He don't have to do none of that, bro. It's like it's no. He's gonna reoffend. He is going to reoffend, bro. That teenager, he is going to reoffend. He already assaulted multiple women, and the judge said, you're good. He is going to reoffend. And every time the judges see, I blame the judges, bro. Like, I can't even blame this Jesse kid. Like, you never see me blame the judge. Because they be sitting in prison. And somebody open up the cell doors and let them out. Back into chaos. Back to hurt the society. Somebody is letting them out. Somebody is letting them out to hurt society. And sitting back and watching the chaos. So somebody like to watch chaos ensue. I get it. But it's a diabolical way of thinking. Yeah, two justices. Yeah, of course. You got two kind of justice in this world. They got the broke man justice, the rich man justice. If you broke, you're gonna do 90% of your time. If you're rich, you're gonna get out of trouble 90% of the time. I'm gonna say that again. That was bars right there. Listen, it's two kind of justice in America. The rich man justice and the poor man justice. If you're poor, you are going to do 90% of your time. If you are rich, you're going to get out of trouble 90% of the time. Yeah, that's a problem. This, 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 this society is ran on respect a person. That's what that means. Because you got money, you don't face no trouble. That's a respect of person. Just because you got money, you're good. Anybody with money don't go to jail. Now, if you're broke, you go to jail. That's a respect of persons. They dodge punishment because of who they are. They dodge punishment because of their fame. They dodge punishment because of the money they got. They dodge punishment because of the notoriety. That happens every day in this world. So now, y'all know what that word is. It's called a respect of person. So anytime you see somebody not punished because of their fame and their notoriety, just know, respect of persons is played in that every time. Every time. Every time. This is the same, France, no matter where you at, this happens all over the world. And again, you ain't gonna get this from somebody who's super rich and they compromise, man. You're gonna get the real from somebody who's in the ghetto, You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where you're gonna get the real from, because that's the last line of defense that's gonna tell the world the truth. That's the last line of defense that's gonna tell the world the truth. Last line. There's still some truth talkers out here. That's what you gotta look for, bro. In France, United States, it don't matter, bro. This is something that's happening worldwide. So once you can tap into this, you tap into the matrix, you tap into the algorithm of how they think, you know, you be able to be like 5 steps ahead of them. And that's a goal. Be 5 steps ahead of them. So you know, so when they do something, you can act on it immediately. You dig what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that like button for your boy, man. So she came forward as part of a wave of women accusing Trump of sexual abuse. A wave of women. Same thing Diddy going through. Trump too. A wave of women, a wave of women accused Trump of sexual misconduct. Trump, your president, the highest land. Yes. Newly released Epstein files, late 2025, showed Trump flew on Epstein private jet multiple times in the 1990s. So Trump will come off like he don't know the guy. That's a lie. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do about Trump? Trump again is fine with his hand in the cookie jar. First it was the insurrection. Then it was the taxes. Now it's the Epstein file. Like, how many stuff could Trump do, bro, before everybody just, you know what I'm saying? Like what? How much times is Trump hands gonna get caught in the cookie jar before we realize who he is, bro? How many times? Please let me know. Cause you know, this is redundant at this point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button as y'all come into the building. I appreciate y'all. Man, make sure y'all hit that like button. It's your boy Cave. We here, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, you know, we gotta stop being a respectable person, man. But why people vote for a man like Trump? Why? Cause, you know, why people vote for Trump is because Trump attacks their enemies. So anytime a president can attack the enemies of the people of America, Trump is smart. That's why he won the fight. Because he knows the people of America have a common enemy. And Trump said, I'm going to take on your enemy, America. Vote for me. That's why they voted for Trump. Because their enemy was the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, immigration. That was, and Trump pushed that to the forefront. I'm going to get them out the country. I'm going to kick them out the country. I'm going to get rid of your enemies. So that's how you win an election. Who does the American people hate? Who is the enemy to the American people? Me as president, I'm going to take on the fight. And people fall for it, hood, line, and sinker. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's all psychological. So that's why they voted for Trump. Because Trump was taking on the enemy. Immigration, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans. The Mexicans are taking your jobs. The Puerto Ricans are raping your women. And, you know, um, there's some bad hombres. He been pushing that. Make America great again. So, I get it. America was great when slavery wasn't. Listen, man. What does make America great again means? Like, what does that mean? The Proud Boys, Proud Boys, stand around, stand back. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand why the people voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Because he was an enemy to the enemy and an adversary to the adversary. Period. Point blank. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to be an enemy to your enemy, and I'm going to be an adversary to your adversary. Maureen. Listen, all the presidents, France, in Africa, all the presidents is corrupt. The whole place is corrupt. It's all corrupt, homie. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that no president is for the people. They for the people. They have interests, and the president don't even run the show. It's the people behind the presidents who run the show. The president is just a figurehead for whatever they got going on. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the president is picked by the